I strongly believe that content will never die. So content gonna be there. Content is everything. You look at the market, advertising, branding, sales, any collateral of these four spectrums, everything is about content. So if you go to the root understanding market, the content in the marketing ecosystem is not just about king. It's also king, and it's also a kingdom all put together. So content is the root of everything. So I strongly believe that content will never die. Now, why I'm making this video, a lot of people are thinking that AI gonna will impact, or it will change, it will affect, and a lot of less content is required, or content space might not be much exciting as earlier. I feel the production or the process or amplification of the production of content will increase. The AI is going to help us a lot in the production. AI will help us in scripting. AI will help in pre-production, but the content space will not die. The purpose is very simple, that marketing is all about communication. The whole purpose of marketing is about communicate. Like, you have an X product with you, and you take that particular product and you will try to take reach it to the mass, or you are taking that particular product to the audience. So what you're trying to do here is, you have a product and you know that who gonna buy that particular product, and you will understand that, oh, my age, my audience age group is 18 to 35, and you will understand that these audience are active on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat, and YouTube, and you will think of, oh, I have to take my product to them. And how do you take your product to them? So you create a content. And what is that content? It could be image, it could be audio, it might be, if you are doing it in Spotify, it might be audio, or it might be a video if it is on Instagram or any other platforms, or a blog if it is a paid article. So what is exactly happening here is, we are producing content to communicate about a product or service. So today, if you remember washing powder Nirma, you know the detergent powder ad, and if there is any jingle like tin indicates Britannia, right? It's again a content. It's a small piece of content. Like, you still remember the Airtel song, all these things, right? Nokia sound, beat. So this is again a content. So what is happening? Marketing needs communication. And for communication, what is root? Content is the root of communication. So any point of time, any day, the root of communication gonna be always content. So you have a content, and you build a context around that particular content, and you have a very good communicator who will explain that to people. Like, for example, if I have to look at Baiju's marketing strategy when they were doing good. So they had state-wise different influencers. For Shah Rukh Khan was for India, Mahesh Babu for Andhra audience and Telugu audience, and Sudeep for Karnataka, and Mohanlal for Malayalam, and Surya for Tamil Nadu. So they had different brand ambassadors promoting in different language and to different set of audience. So what is happening here is, the content might be same, they might be selling the same product, but the context they build around that content is never the same. So, and that content and context will come together with a very good communicator, and it gets to people. Because as a marketer, you should know about the product before you make it known to others. Hence, it is very important that content is the root of communication. And the last slide, I explained you that the main purpose of marketing is to communicate about your product or service to people. And to communicate something to people, you need content. So content is to communicate about product or service for an individual, right? You are basically taking that particular piece of content, and you are trying to communicate about that product or service to people. That's offer your audience with a context and with a very good communicator. Now, why we build a content? I mean, what is the purpose that an individual or a company creates content? There are two important things here. One is, you build content because to create an identity and to create a perception. So what do I mean by that? Identity and perception. For example, majority of them, they think that content creation is about just about engagement, like, comment, share, save. It's about followers, how many followers you have. I've seen so many people who have more than 10 or 15,000 followers on Instagram and LinkedIn, but they are not generating any revenue out of it, or it's not letting them monetize their number of followers. Is it because if the case of number of clicks, comment, share was good, then why they are not generating any revenue? What is the purpose that they're not making any money? So content creation or uploading content on social media or YouTube is not none of these about these things. These all are byproducts. I mean, you can't plan for it. But the root reason why you have to create content is for two things. One is it creates your identity and it builds your perception. For example, when you look at my content, if I'm talking about marketing, branding, sales, advertising, you will easily get to know, and you connect me, or you basically connect me with marketing as an identity. There is an identity. You will make me to wear an ID card, or in your mind that you'll get to know that acha, this Jaitirth is somewhere related to marketing. This guy is somewhere related to advertising, marketing, sales. So that is identity. And assume that you have hundreds of videos, you have seen my hundreds of content. So that that makes you to think, oh, this guy is again related to somewhere, this particular topic. And next time, whenever you think of my name, automatically, marketing comes to your mind, because that's a perception that you have, by looking at my content. So today, assume that you're following some Instagram, a reel video in which there are 20 videos where they talk about veg salads. The videos are about salads that you prepare, and everything is vegetarian. They are not using any non-veg food. So now there are two things that happen. One is it has created an identity about you, that people got to know that you build a content which is related to salads. And second immediate thing that has happened is it's a vegetarian salads that you prepare. So there is a perception. Now you might not be knowing the person who's creating this content, but the moment you saw the content, you had a thought. There is an identity about that particular person or an organization, and there is also a perception about you in their mindset that, oh, you create a content about veg salad. So the whole reason why an individual or an organization should create content is to build that identity, to build that perception about you in their mindset, is to build that identity about you in their mind. Look at any company today. Zomato creates content to build that identity that they are related to food company, and because of which there is a perception that if somebody wants to order something, so they tell Zomato, do Zomato. So Ola creates content on a regular basis, and they go live, they launch products on live on YouTube and all other things. So they know that they want to build that identity, they want to build that perception. And even look at all this influencers, entrepreneurs turned influencers, or entrepreneurs with influencers. Everybody are talking about their industry that they really want to get into, because that is helping them to build their identity. That is helping them to build the perception about that in the market. So remember that whenever you are creating content, it's don't focus on the byproduct that you don't know what you're going to get from it, but always focus that you are building it because to build that identity and to build that perception. And today, reach is more important than research. Assume that you are very good in market research, but does that make sense? I mean, still, does that have any value? Yes. But the process of research has become more easier today. So you can create very good content, we can do research with ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude. There are so many tools that has made your work more easier. And building a product or service with that research and knowledge is not so hard. Now, what is today more hard is to reach that product. I mean, to take that particular product to more number of audience. So you are reaching more audience. So the moment you spend more and more time only on research, basically you're wasting a lot of time and you're not spending much work on your reach. So it's very important that you do reach. Right now, the distribution is more important than just research in the market. So try to reach more audience, because audience are now more keen on visibility rather than just being availability. In the sense, are you visible to people, or you're just available to people? It's very important. So if you're visible, there is a high chances that your product might be sold in market. But if you're just available there, people might not buy it. The reason is very simple. you are in market, but not in the people's mind or audience mind. So hence entering into mind today is more important than entering into market. So focus on that. How do I build that visibility? And visibility can be built only when you have good content. So again, content helps you build in identity and creates a perception. So that's what here happens. It builds, it will help you to reach audience, which in return builds visibility and for people. So piece of content is important everywhere to create this visibility for you, in market. So now look at this, starting with newspaper, paid media, TV, Google, Gmail, WhatsApp, Tumblr, email, Google, TV, everything is about content, right? I mean, the format of the content that you consume might be different, but every route is again a content. So you take your product and taking it to people, again you have a content there. So irrespective of whatever you do, whatever the kind of communication that you take, it's again a piece of content is what is getting circulated everywhere. So content is what makes it or breaks it in the market. So that's the core of everything. Now, I mean, every business should think of it. Every business should do it. And it's a small, kind of a checklist to all of you, that you try to understand your industry, know the type of business. Is it B2B business or B2C business or D2C business or e-commerce or quick commerce? What kind of business that you are into? And try to understand who are your audience, what kind of people, buyer persona, create a chart and understand who are your audience, who might buy your product. And the kind of content they consume, is it engaging or educative or informative, or it might be very much quirky content? What kind of content they consume, and what problems they might be facing in market? So understanding all those things, how do you help them with your content? So how do you solve their problem by creating very good content? How do you help them in making sure that they know this particular content, or by this, if there is some sense of change for in their life or in their business? Now this is how you or individual or an institution should focus on building content as their mainstream communication. And then this is the most important formula, that if you are good in content, the things, what would happen is it will help you to reach, it will make people to remember, which in return makes them to be a member, and it will repeat in their mind, because of which there is a revenue. So people, if you have a good content, it might help to reach people. Because of that, it might they might remember your product, and if they remember it, they might repeat with your product, and if they repeat, the chances of generating revenue is also high. So remember that people will buy only what they remember, what comes to their mind, what recalls in their mind, and they should repeat, and they should they will generate revenue for you. Because the two major aspects of any business is to create customer and keep customer. If you are able to master these two things, then you will never go wrong. And then these are the elements that I wanted to explain in this particular video. Hold on for the next big good content in incoming videos. Thank you all.